Hello, welcome to part 2 of this tour of northern Italy. Well, it's not really a tour, it's just us kind of bumbling about in northern Italy really. So in this part we're going to Italian lakes. So we're currently at Lake Corlo, so we're staying at a campsite which we picked just because we like the name really. It's Camping Village Lake Arsi, or Lago Arsi. And yeah, it's really nice. We actually decided to leave the campsite, Camping Silver, in our last video, a day early. So we only spent 3 nights there, 2 days in Venice, and then yeah, we left after that. We found it because of the public holiday. Actually, people were just flooding in. Our campervan's 7 meters long, and we literally had inches to spare between our neighbours, and more people were coming. So it's not that we didn't feel comfortable there. It's just it was a bit basic, like the you know. We could have done better, but so we decided to leave there a day early. We'd seen enough of Venice. We felt like we got a good handle on it. We saw what we wanted to see, and then yeah, we just moved on a day early. So as we were driving out on the Saturday morning, we passed about 20 kilometres of traffic trying to come onto that peninsula, and there's so many campsites there. It's such a draw. But yeah, and also. As I stand here now, I think it's the beginning of the Italian school summer holidays. So yeah, it's just a recipe of people come to visit the area, which absolutely fine. It's what we're doing. So we just thought we'd bring our plans forward a day, and we've come up to this place. And as you can see behind me, just on the edge of another lake. The lakes in northern Italy are absolutely incredible. So after we left Venice. We made our way up to Bolzano. I went to the Archaeological Museum there to see Uzi, which is actually an Ice Age man, or a Copper Age man, found up in a mountain. Is 5,300 years old, I think, and he'd been mummified by being in the snow. Anyway, look him up. If you're in the area, it's certainly well worth having a look at the museum. It was really great. The audio guide was fantastic. Really enjoyed it, and I'm not really a museum guy. That's my wife Sophie. That's her domain really. But I really enjoyed it. And then yeah, so we went up to Bolzano, and then we came back down to Lake Corlo. And yeah, we've spent 2 nights here. So we're about to leave this morning. We're going to make our way over to Lake Garda. So we're in the southwest corner of Lake Garda. I'm not too sure how well that's going to go. The campsite looks amazing, looks lovely online. But as we're at the beginning of the school summer holidays now, I think we might be surrounded by a lot of people again. And Sophie and I, we do prefer places with fewer people. It's just what we're attracted to. So, but anyway, it's been, I'm sure it'll be fine. When we were here last night, there was a wicked storm, and there's some mountains off here to my left, and we just saw these big black clouds just sort of looming over, and could hear the thunder coming, and you could just see everyone like around us being a bit on edge, and then all of a sudden there's this massive flurry of activity as everyone just like wound their awnings in and just piled all their stuff into their van, and about 30 seconds later, just like the heavens opened, and there was rain and lightning and massive claps of thunder. It was awesome. So, but it gave way to this absolutely beautiful sky that followed it, because the sun hadn't quite set, and it just gave these really gorgeous gold clouds, which I don't think they'll come across on the screen, the colours of them. It was just, yeah, it was incredible. So yeah, that was really cool. So after we leave this campsite, we're going to be making our way to a vineyard on our way to Lake Garda. Sophie's found us a vineyard to go and have a wine tour and a tasting. So yeah, looking forward to that. We're not really massive drinkers, but you can't really come to wine territory near Verona and not do a wine tour. So certainly we're going to be having a go. We've passed so many vineyards as we've been driving up to Bolzano that it's never really understood the scale of it. But of course they've got to grow them somewhere, and it's it sounds so simple saying that, but it's good. If you enjoy my channel, please do subscribe. I've still got more things to come, as I alluded to in the Venice video. I've had some Life Pay 4 sales turn up just before we came away, literally the day before we came away to Italy. So I've got those to build and install in the van. I didn't really want to build them the night before and then drive for 2 weeks and come away for 2 weeks on untested batteries. I thought that was a bad idea, so I'll leave that afterwards. until we get back. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to go to the vineyard. If I can, I'll film that. I don't know how they'll be about that. And then certainly I'll show you around the next campsite on the edge of Lake Garda. We're not too sure what we've got planned for around there. Maybe another vineyard, or I don't know. We haven't planned this holiday really. We're just going by the seat of our pants and seeing what's in the area and see what takes our fancy. So anyway, like I say, please subscribe, hit like on any of the videos you do enjoy, yeah. And we'll pick this up wherever it gets picked up. So see you in a bit. Welcome to a slightly breezy Lake Garda. It is quite lovely here. You can see behind me is the massive lake. It's much bigger than I gave it credit for in my own head. Never been here before, but it's absolutely huge. But yeah, so we stayed here last night. This is the campsite behind me. It's Camping Piantel. It's a lovely campsite, but I sound a bit downbeat because honestly, it's just not really for us. It's lovely. It's got all the amenities, but for some reason, it's just not our speed. I think it's just a bit busier than we'd like. We quite like sort of smaller campsites, and honestly, that's probably my fault. I picked it, didn't really do my research properly, didn't really look at the size of the campsite. But campsites on the edge of Lake Garda are quite hard, to come by. And as small ones, they're all quite big. So, give and take. One of the things I wanted to say to you guys is if you're watching this and you're thinking about buying a campervan and you're on two minds, it gives you so much flexibility. So if we'd booked ourselves in for 2 weeks, so our holiday is 2 weeks long, if we'd booked ourselves in for 2 weeks and we didn't like the place, we're stuck there. I've been on holidays like that before. I've been stuck in a resort for 2 weeks and not really enjoyed myself and just look forward to going home, and that's not what a holiday's about. So we've actually changed our plans slightly, which is what the flexibility of having a motorhome or a campervan does. You can literally just pick up your accommodation and drive it somewhere else. It's absolutely great. So Sophie really wants to go and see Mont Blanc. So we're going to go and make our way over to Mont Blanc, to a campsite outside of Mont Blanc, and then can I say Mont Blanc another time? Who knows? So yeah, we're going to go find a campsite outside there, and then take a cable car up to see the mountain, and just something she wanted to do. So yeah, we're going to do that, and then we really enjoyed actually our stay at Camping Dana, not Lake Paulezza, Lake Lugano. If you haven't seen that, that's in my first video, in the Venice video. So yeah, go and have a look at that. We're gonna go back there for a couple of nights actually. It was more our speed. They did handmade gluten-free pizza because Sophie's a celiac, so it was one of the best pizzas she's ever eaten since she's been diagnosed 4 or 5 years ago. And then we're going to make our way up through Switzerland on the way back. So we came down through France, and this time we're actually going to make our way back up through Switzerland. So we're planning on being at this campsite for 3 nights. Turns out we're only here for 1 night, which one of the benefits of paying when you leave is that actually if you don't like where you are, just pay for 1 night and off you go. Yeah, so hopefully the next thing you'll see is a bit of Mont Blanc as we go up the cable car. I don't know what to expect. It might be great, it might be really cloudy, and we might have terrible weather and not see any of it. So but who knows, let's see. One of the joys of campervanning is just seeing what life throws at you. Anyway, this was Lake Garda. It is lovely, but man, it's popular. So later in the same day now, and it's even more breezy than it was over at Lake Garda. It's yeah, it's lovely here. We're up in the mountains, so just where the sun is and the camera is, not an easy thing to film really. But just over behind me here is the base of Mont Blanc, and Sophie's found this really lovely campsite, and I don't know, there must be only about half a dozen of us here. So yeah, this is much more our speed. That's Sophie walking in the background. She's come to ruin my video. You happy?
Yeah. Can we put the trainers on? Can we go for a walk now before the sun goes behind the mountain?
Yeah.
You can take your camera on a little walk.
Looks like I'm going for a walk. This is very unexpected. So within about 5 minutes of parking up, Sophie ran off to have a little walk, have a look around in the woods. and she disappeared for about 10 or 15 minutes, just leaving me here. I tried to start filming a bit of a video about what we were doing here, and she comes running up behind me and she's like, "Can we go for a walk?" So yeah, I think it's fair to say that Sophie's a lot happier here. I'm happier here too. It's really nice. Yeah, I think we're definitely mountain people rather than popular lakeside destination people. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It's much cooler as well. When we turned up at Lake Garda yesterday, the van said it was 35 degrees inside. I haven't looked at what it is now, but it's cool enough for me to need my jacket on. It's definitely still breezy here as well. So, but yeah, no, it's lovely. The sun's just gone down behind the mountain. So, I mean, it's a couple of hours away from sunset now, but we're certainly in shadow now for the rest of the evening. But good long drive has topped the batteries up. So, anyway, yeah, this is Sophie. First time you've probably seen her. Well, definitely first time you've seen her, because she doesn't like being on camera. So, yeah. But yeah, it's lovely. Really nice. I'm really glad we made the change. It can be a bit daunting, like deciding to just change your plans at the snap of a finger. But honestly, it was definitely the right decision. So, you know, like Lake Garda's lovely. It's very popular. We certainly weren't there in the height of the season. You know, the campsite was probably only about 50% full, but there's a lot of campsites around and a lot of accommodation around the edge of Lake Garda. So it just stands to reason that there's going to be a lot of people, and you know, we're much happier when it's like this. You know, there's sort of no one around for, I don't know, well, we haven't seen anyone since we come out for a walk, so you know, it's just nice. But yeah, if you've got children and that's your thing, I'd thoroughly recommend it. The campsite was lovely, all the facilities were great. It just wasn't for us, so you know, we made that decision just to change, and come to a different part of Italy. So we're now on the French-Italian border, on the Italian side, and yeah, it's just great. So tomorrow we're going to be taking a cable car up to have a look at Mont Blanc. I'm not too sure what we're going to be able to see, because there's quite a lot of high cloud around, and you know, it could just could obscure the top of the mountain. So anyway, yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. And then, as I said before, we're going to head back to Camping Dana and spend a couple of nights there before making our way home. So after Dana, we're going to be staying at a campsite in France, halfway between Italy and Calais, where we need to catch the Channel Tunnel back to the UK before making our way back to Devon. So yeah, so that's our plan. It's nice to have the freedom just to sort of chop and change, have like a loose plan, and then you know, if you want to change it, you can. So one of the benefits of having a camper van rather than static accommodation. So, but yeah, please don't please don't take it as if I'm moaning about Lake Garda. It was absolutely lovely, but we're much happier where we are. So anyway, let's see what comes up next. Back from our walk now. So anyway, this is the campsite we're on. As you can see, yeah, it's a lot more sparse. Much, you know, not as many people here. Loads of space around us. Nice green campsite. Definitely more our speed. Just at the foot of these mountains. It's yeah, lovely place to be. Really nice and quiet, tranquil. Loads of birds around. It's just, yeah, I think we've learned a lot this holiday. Just more about what we like, what we want in a campsite, what we want. You know, we're planning to go to Scotland later in the year and do a bit of wild camping. We did it back in 2020 during one of the lockdowns, not during one of the lockdowns, but during the pandemic. And yeah, our van is all set up for being off grid. There is like electricity on a pole just in front of the van here, but we don't need it. We're completely off grid. So so yeah, I think we're going to have some dinner now. Maybe put something on the projector and just sit and enjoy ourselves. Here comes Sophie. She's come to.
I have the keys. food. It's locked itself. Thank you.
She just she needed the keys because she spent so long outside the van after I'd unlocked it. Before I came to do this, it's locked itself again. So anyway, yeah, I think we're going to just have a nice chilled evening, make some dinner, and look forward to going up the cable car to Mont Blanc tomorrow. So anyway, so we took the cable car up the mountain this morning, and just behind me here is Mont Blanc. It was cool on the way up to see our campsite and just confirm just how close we were to actually camping at the bottom of the mountain. So yeah, it's incredible up here. We sat and had a cup of tea. I had a hot chocolate, Sophie had a cappuccino, and I had a pastry. And yeah, it's probably the highest I've ever been in my life, the highest altitude. And yeah, it's just incredible out here. It's definitely the highest pan of chocolate I've ever eaten in my life, off above sea level. But, and the air's so crisp. It's amazing to feel like how yesterday morning woke up at Lake Garda and it felt like we wanted to take all of our own clothes off, peel off our own skin. We were so warm. 35 degrees is probably nothing to some of you, but to us Brits, it's really toasty. And up here at the moment, it's 1 degree, 1 or 2 degrees, and when the wind starts blowing, it can go to -2. So yeah, pretty incredible. So on the cable car on the way up this morning, there's a lot of people with us that were mountaineers, and I think some of them either hired kit or brought their own kit, and they've gone off on either a guided tour or they're capable enough to actually guide themselves, and they've all gone off walking. So that's kind of cool. So if that's your thing, then yeah, certainly come up here and go for a walk around. But yeah, make sure you bring the right kit. You need proper boots and walking poles and all the other proper mountaineering kit. You can't just come up here in flip-flops and shorts and expect to walk over to a mountain. But yeah, amazing. There's a few people up here, probably 20 or 25 people up here with us. So yeah, not too busy, but I'd love to come back here when it's properly snowing in ski season. Just see. Yeah, maybe that'll be a trip for the future, is to come back to the Alps and do some skiing. One of the things that has caught me out coming up here is at various points just going up and down stairs. It just made me feel very, I don't know, nauseous. It must be the I don't know if that's altitude or I don't know. The air's maybe a bit thinner up here, but I don't know. It's just something to consider if you do get out of breath quite easily. Just take it easy. If you do come up here, I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't, but yeah, just something that caught me unaware, something I wasn't expecting. But man, the views are so worth it, so worth coming up. And I think I'm just going to take it easy now and just sit and enjoy the view on these deck chairs that are provided. So yeah, see you back down at the bottom. So the sun's just set on our final night here in Italy. After coming back down from Mont Blanc, we came back to Camp Dana. It's almost bookended our trip really. Yeah, it's been fantastic again. Really enjoyed it. So all that's left really is for us to drive home. It's about 20 hours of driving. I think we've made the decision to go north and go up via Switzerland, up through Switzerland, through Germany, up into France. We're going to spend a night in France, and then make our way back across the Channel back into the UK. Hasn't really been a high octane adventure filled couple of weeks, but it's meant to be a relaxing holiday, so we've done a bit of driving, a bit of sightseeing, but mostly we've just taken the opportunity to take some time out from life and just sit and mostly not do a lot for some of it. Admittedly, just we've sat around and read some books and just decompressed, and I think that's been really good for us. Thoroughly recommend Italy, certainly in the northern half. A friend is getting married in southern Italy next year, so we're planning on driving ourselves back. So this is where I'm going to leave you. I hope you've enjoyed this. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the videos and give it a like, give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. I'm not too sure what's going to come next after this, but yeah, hopefully it'll be good, and it'll probably be back to the tools, I reckon, and working again on the van. Got a few more plans in my head now for what's going to happen over the next few months. Yeah, so please do keep watching.